Part 2 of talking about the most popular men's fragrances on the market. Number 1, Acqua di Profumo. This is a classic, of course, ultra masculine, sophisticated, classy, and a beautiful fragrance. Very aquatic in the opening. You've got patchouli, you've got incense, you've got herbal notes such as sage and rosemary. Very, very classy, and this is a gentleman's fragrance. You can't go wrong wearing this to any situation. A must-have, in my opinion, in everyone's collection. But do not worry that it's discontinued, because we have the new PARFUM, which is very, very similar. I have tested these side by side a few times, and there are a couple of minor differences, but nothing to write home about and nothing for you to get scared about. If you're looking for a backup bottle of Profumo, or you haven't bought it yet and you want to buy it, check this out, because it's almost exactly the same. Up next, we have DIOR SAUVAGE. This is a controversial fragrance. Some people say overplayed. Some people say it's too popular. Some people say you shouldn't wear it because everyone's wearing it. Well, I'm not sure that's true exactly, because I don't know about where you live, but where I live, not everyone's wearing a fragrance. And actually, it's quite rare, in my experience, that you smell a fragrance on someone. And when you do, it's often a very cheap fragrance, or it's something like Paco Rabanne 1 million. It's something like Hugo Boss. Rarely do I smell DIOR SAUVAGE on anyone, and I think it smells fantastic. It's a beautiful fragrance. I showed this to my girlfriend earlier. I asked her to choose on a test strip between this and Paco Rabanne 1 million, being two of the best selling fragrances of all time, and she said that the 1 million was overplayed and she'd smelt it so many times, but this one smelled absolutely fantastic. Very fresh, it's juicy, very peppery as well, with a strong ambroxan note. We know how this smells, but I think it's a worthwhile fragrance still. I've got no issues wearing it, because every time I wear it, I know I smell great. Versatile fragrance, very similar to Acqua di Profumo in the fact you can wear it anywhere, and it lasts a long time, and you know you're going to smell absolutely fresh. So DIOR SAUVAGE, thumbs up from me. Another beautiful fragrance, this time from Chanel. Chanel's Allure Homme Sport Eau Extreme. For me, this is probably the best in the line. I do love the cologne version as well. This is probably the all-round best in the line. This is not as fresh as perhaps DIOR SAUVAGE or Profumo that we looked at. This is much more on the sweeter side, with aromatic notes, fruity orange, with an invigorating mint in the opening. This balances the fresh notes with the sweet notes as well, and it smells very expensive. When I smell this, I just think of someone who is rich and successful. That's the kind of vibe this gives off. If you're going on vacation and you're going somewhere really nice on the coastline and you want to wear a button-down white shirt, this is going to be the absolute best fragrance for that situation, but ultimately it can be worn in any situation. You're going to smell great. The only downside, on me, the performance is not that great, but the smell is 10 out of 10, unbeatable. Perfect. Now moving on to Armani. Stronger With You Intensely would be my pick from this line, and this is a much more sweeter, denser, wintry fragrance compared to the other ones we've looked at today. This is a room filler for me. I remember spraying this on in my office at work last year, and I went out to speak to someone, came back in, and I could smell it everywhere in the office. It's a real projecting fragrance. It's a room filler, and it's beautiful. A lovely toffee note with cinnamon. You've got ambery notes as well. It's almost semi-gourmand with spices. Very sweet, comforting, great for winter, or you could wear this summer evenings, 2 or 3 sprays, you're going to smell great. Intensely is the best in the line, although absolutely offers a slight twist in you get a boozy rum note, but I think Intensely is the best overall, and if I had to get rid of all of my Stronger With You fragrances and only pick one, I would choose Intensely. Now, one of my favorite fresh fragrances from Hermès is Hermès Eau GIVREE. This one's a relatively new release. I think it came out last year or the year before. This is a modern take and a fresher take on the Hermès line, which, if you're under the age of, say, 25, you might think it's a little bit too old school for you. It's been around for a long time, and because of the sharp orange with vetiver, it does come across as a little bit harsh to wear and a little bit old school. This one is much more of a modern formulation. You've got a beautiful, zesty but juicy grapefruit, and you have that Hermès DNA, but it's toned right down. This one is perfect for the summer if you want one of those ultra fresh fragrances to wear on a hot summer's day. It doesn't get much better than Eau GIVREE. Also, if you've been at the beach all day and you come back, have a cold shower, and you want an invigorating fragrance to spray on for your evening on vacation, Eau GIVREE would be absolutely perfect. Now, lastly, we're going to look at the DIOR Homme line. So, DIOR Homme Parfum is my all-time favorite from the line. It's actually one of my favorite fragrances in my entire collection, and arguably one of the best designer fragrances ever released. Absolutely stunning. The hype you've heard about this, I think, is absolutely justified and real. It's one of the best fragrances that you can find on the market today. Beautiful, mysterious, but sexy, elegant fragrance. Very strong. You've got ultra strong notes in here, such as leather, oud, rose, but it's got this kind of fruity opening, so it mixes the light notes with the dark notes, completely contrast, but work magnificently together. They're so well blended. This is such a balanced fragrance and smells unbelievable. It smells incredibly expensive and rich, and it smells better than most of my really expensive niche fragrances. So that just tells you how good of a fragrance this is. A special occasion fragrance only for me. I'd never wear this casually. It just doesn't suit that vibe at all. This is one when I want to be noticed and when I'm dressed up smart, wearing a suit. I just want that something extra special. Not very versatile, but my goodness, what a fragrance. If you don't want something as heavy as that and something you can wear perhaps to more situations, Dior Homme Intense is a great secondary fragrance to Dior Homme Parfum. Very similar fragrance. It has iris like Dior Homme Parfum. I know I didn't mention that, but iris is one of the strong notes in here. You've got a cacao nut with pear, so it's a bit more sweeter, a bit more fruitier, and just hasn't got those strong heavy notes like Dior Homme Parfum has got. This is much more of a conservative fragrance, good formal fragrance, maybe good for an interview, but you can pretty much wear this many more situations than you can Dior Homme Parfum. Dior Homme Parfum is just too strong and too divisive, in my opinion. So these are some of the most popular fragrances on the market today and what I thought of them. Now let me know your favorite out of the ones we've just spoke about.